All right, getting things ready here. If anybody's out there, a little sound check, please. If you can hear me. All right, sound check, please. If anybody can hear me, anybody in the channel, give me a sound check, please. Hello, sound check, please. Sound check, please. Sound check 1, 2. We'll give it a few more minutes. All right, sound check, please. Sound check, 1, 2. Just trying to make sure the microphone's working. Hopefully you can hear me. Okay, I think I figured it out. Had some tech difficulties. Try now. Can anybody hear me? Okay, can you hear me now, Obina? Perfect. All right, there we go. Okay, I didn't realize that when I started the stream, I had the privacy setting to private and not public. If that makes a difference or not, but anyway, so here we are, and I'm sure, had I caught that earlier, maybe everybody probably gave up and saw it was a bad link or couldn't say anything or couldn't even get in. So, all right. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and start a little bit. If anybody comes in later, we'll just go over it again. First of all, do you guys have any questions? Any questions? I mean, other than where is Bitcoin going? Okay, if not, I'm going to go ahead and I'll just start on the charts real quick. So obviously we got the big run up, right? We had this little down move right here, and then held the support. And everybody was wondering why. I mean, and maybe I went over this before, but why I was thinking 9,300 to 9,500 was basically this area up in here where this 1272 retracement is. On like the futures chart. Hey Friesen, how you doing, buddy? Good to see you. But I'm going to zoom in and I'll show you why this area was such a big area for me, because it's all about fib retracements, right? So if you was to go back and look, I'm sure everybody's like, well, why did it stop just right there? Well, you could go over here and look at this, but then you could have said, oh, it could have stopped up here. But to me, it was all about the fib retracement, and that was the 1272. And now I was talking about where's the potential rebuy at, okay? Am I too late? And hopefully not a lot of you people FOMO'd into it. And if you did, hopefully it was just a small amount. I mean, this is eventually going higher. So this is kind of, in my opinion, a pause before the bigger storm. However, I would love to see Bitcoin just do this the entire way up. Just uptrend with some retrace. Uptrend, retrace. Uptrend, retrace. Just a stair step higher that gets the bears just foaming at the mouth, thinking that it's a top and they're going to get, a bigger move down, like to new lows, which I don't see happening. So I think people can probably get that out of their minds, at least for the time being. But my initial retracement area was 9150. And that's the 23.6 retracement. That's the first area that I see, and it came pretty darn close, right? It got, what is that low? Let's call it 91.85. So it's in the ballpark, and retesting the 233-day moving average right there, the red one, okay? I know a lot of people are gung-ho on the 200-day moving average, but let's not forget the 233-day moving average, because I can remember night before last, it was struggling to get above that, right? It did wick above it here, but then it was trying to get back above it again, and it stayed there for probably, half the day or a couple hours, more than a couple hours, but it stayed there for quite a while, and then once it busted through, there she went. So it snatched in some longs, right? But let's see what happens right here. Worst case scenario, in my mind, and I'm not going to say, well, I shouldn't say worst case scenario, but your next area to buy more, probably the fib shows, the 38.2 shows 89.77. I would just call it 9,000, right? That's going to be a psychological level. And by tomorrow, that 10 EMA is going to be, getting up here, right? By the candle close. So anyway, that's kind of my thoughts on Bitcoin. And I talked about it last night, and I'll just show you real quick why I think the weekly chart was so fascinating to me. Let's go look at it. Held support right here, but each time you go back and look, when Bitcoin went through, like back in here, and it made a bottom, see the moving averages, and then see what happens once you get the 10 and the 20 crossing back through the 50. Well, look over here. Same sort of thing is happening. And even though the Bollinger Bands are getting tighter, and we're running into some resistance right here, well, there was resistance back here as well, which turned into support. So the thinking, at least to me, is it may be a little choppy for a little bit, but then eventually this is going to go a lot higher, right? Probably break this resistance zone and come up and test, and possibly even this downtrend line, right? But then any retrace after that, we'll see if it turns this area into support. So that's what I'm going to be watching over the next few weeks. I'm not saying it's happening tomorrow, but this is a weekly chart, right? But still very bullish, especially when you zoom in, all right? And look how it held. That's their 20, right? Here comes the 10 coming through it, and that's pushing price higher. So when you see the 10 EMA on this kind of an incline, that's pushing prices higher. Okay, I'm not so much worried about the stochastic RSI, because if we look back here, when we made our bottom and we started going up, look what happened to stochastic RSI. It just stayed overbought for what, 2.5 months or so? So anyway, long term, I think this is very bullish. But again, it's going to be a little choppiness coming back, retesting, EMAs. And then just, to me, you're buying the dips on a retrace of those EMAs and your Fibonacci when you see like a short-term top, which we just went over on the daily chart. So we can go back and take a look at that. All right, and there you go. Okay, so at least on this move, what we're looking for is 91.50, right? Which it's trying to hold that area and then turn. And then if it gets below that, you're 38.2, which is at rough, let's call it 9,000. 89.75 to 9,000. Okay? Still a very bullish chart. What would get me not bullish? I think at this point, to get me unbullish is probably a break of this 78.6 retracement down here, 84.78, and then below the 8,000 area. But anything can happen in Bitcoin. I think I even posted, oh gosh, but this is different, right? Because this move right here, this is what I don't want to see with Bitcoin. I don't want to see it just yet. But when I see this and I see like a 1,000-point move, and it's just that's too quick. That's not a bottom, right? You can see where price came all the way back, took out the low. That was just a pump, right? This looks a little bit more sustained to me. Looks a little bit more sustained. But we'll see. Any questions on that, guys? I mean, overall, and I guess here's the other thing I'll point out. I think I tried to go over this in my video, but I'm going to zoom out a little bit. Okay. Okay, does anybody see the pattern here? Hey, Mast, how you doing, buddy? Good to see you. Thank you for coming in tonight. All right, so this is the daily chart, right? And you see back in here before it made its big move, and I don't know if this chart goes, yeah, there we go. Once you get above the 10 or the 200 and 233-day moving average, and those start going in unison, like right in here, just starts the trend, and all your other smaller moving averages, you can see there's going to be little dips, right? See this? I mean, I could zoom in, you could probably see it better, but big up move back there percentage-wise, dip, big move, dip, big move, dip, and you can just see the pattern until it finally explodes. So notice the moving averages. Now, once price breaks below those, you're going to get a retest of it, and then eventually, and that's why I was saying that, I mentioned it in a Twitter post, I said, Bitcoin better get back above the 200-day moving average ASAP, right? Because it could have turned into something like this. We had this move coming up to retest it and couldn't get through it, and then it just led to lower lows, right? So now we're above the 200 and the 233. Let's keep that Momo going, right? This is going to take some time, right? It's going to take some time. When you see price break above those, look what happens. Above, you go higher. You come back down, you go below, bust above, boom, down, and then you get your inverted head and shoulders. That probably trapped a lot of bears right in here, and then Momo to the upside. So, anyway, this just all looks, with the moving averages going the way they're going, unless we just get some sort of bad news, or I can't even imagine. Anything's possible in crypto, so, always keep an open mind, always keep a stop loss out there, just on what you're willing to risk, right? Just don't go all in and not have a stop loss somewhere just to protect your capital, but this looks bullish, and right now it's trying to hold that 91.50 area. Now we'll see. Again, it could come down to the 38.2 and still be very bullish. It could come all the way down to the 61.8 and still be bullish. As long as we don't see the 10 and the 20 cross each other, I'm good. Oh, no. I've had Bitcoin probably since, when did I first get in? Early 2017, I think. I think that sounds right. Yeah, that's right. Early 2017. I'd never heard of Bitcoin in my life before, or maybe I did, but just didn't know anything about it. And he was a bookie, and he used Bovada, and Bitcoin is on Bovada, and he was like, "Oh yeah, you need to set up a Bitcoin account." And I was like, okay. And then I started looking at it, and I was like, oh, this thing goes up. And so I just started putting money into it, like every, on paydays and stuff. I would take probably $100 a paycheck and just throw it toward Bitcoin, and then look what happens, and then eventually just started dumping more into it. But it's tradable. I do trade it, but I also just keep some in the bag just for, you never know what's going to happen, right? So, okay, let's see. So that's Bitcoin. Any questions on that? All right. If we don't have any other questions on Bitcoin, maybe, possibly. I'm always going to give it like a couple of second delay before I start talking anymore, because I know it's my thing here is delayed before I can see what you're posting. Yeah, GBTC. Yeah. Yep. All right, so let's go ahead and move on. Let's go to Ethereum and see what's happening here. So, rather peculiar with Ethereum is this, right? And I'm still trying to figure out why Ethereum Classic is, just taking off, and Ethereum's not like following or doing something similar. But anyway, that's regardless of the point. Possible double top right here. It's struggling to get above that 200-day moving average in blue right there. Struggling. It struggled here, retraced off. Now it's coming back and trying to retest it again. The thinking here, in my opinion, and I could be totally wrong, is I think if obviously it's testing again. Maybe in the next few days, it probably breaks through that. I still think this 184 area is going to be a booger to get through. And then not only on that, you got the 233-day moving average at 190. So still some possibilities to get through there. But bulls really need to make a new high right here. That would not look good, and bears would probably salivate at the chance to maybe go back and retest 156. So we'll see what happens there. But rather strange that Ethereum, and who knows, people may just be accumulating in this area. It's been holding up fairly well. It's just not taking off like Bitcoin and some others. So okay, so that's Ethereum. Let's go over and look at Litecoin, and once again, not to beat a dead horse, but is this a double top, or is it just trying again, retrace? If it can make a higher low in here somewhere, hold the 10 EMA or hold the 20 and then push through that, then it changes the narrative, right? But until it gets past this red zone, it's tough. That is tough resistance right there. Hasn't broken the 200, hasn't broken the 233. this is still, to me, a bullish move within an overall bearish chart. So, and I'm not trying to bash Litecoin or anything. That's just my feelings on it. Let's go take a look at XRP. And again, yeah, maybe it's only Bitcoin that's making the moves right now, and you know how things can go. I mean, Bitcoin can be, pretty dominant. That's what everybody thinks about, especially with the halving coming up. And who knows what kind of pumps people are going to make out on Twitter and all the news and whatnot. So people are probably more focused in on that. But you would think it would drag these on to newer highs like Bitcoin has, but they're just not. So XRP 200-day moving average still above 233 right there. So in my opinion, get above 26 cents and you might start seeing some good action. Still a fib cluster up here at 27. So that area right there, major resistance. Let's go ahead and move on from there. Let's go to some stuff that altcoin wise. What do we look at? XTZ. Okay, so some people would look at this candlestick and say that's a gravestone doji, right? Or a shooting star. Gravestone doji, in my opinion, would be incorrect because it's not a red body, right? That's a green body. And so to me, and if this wick really happened today, I mean, that's a heck of a move up to 167, 168. That's a hell of a move in one day, but then it sold off, right? So here's the deal. Bears, obviously, and amazing how it kicked off the upper Bollinger Band as well, but bears are probably thinking they have control here. Well, the only problem with that, oops, hang on just a second, guys. Okay. Very sorry about that. Okay. So my thing just went offline for just a minute. But here's my problem with that is that I have seen in the past too many times where you get this, where the bears could not make that a red day. Okay. Not saying that this can't be bearish, but I'm just saying if that had a red body on it, that's more bearish. Vikram, yeah. Let's see. LTC daily. Getting over 66, does it qualify as an inverted head and shoulders pattern? Let's go look. But anyway, on XTZ, I'll just say this real quick. The moving averages are still there. Let me go back and finish that, and I'll come back to LTC. Here's the other thing. The stochastic RSI has been in a downtrend here while price is, continuing to move up. That is a bearish divergence. Okay? When you get higher prices and lower indicator, what is holding this back? So somebody is selling this. Okay? So just be cautious about that. Okay? I mean, until you start seeing maybe down in here, and I'll have to change my, there we go, I'll have to change the fib retracement because obviously made a higher high. But just watch your fib retracements coming down. I would say anything below the 78.6 at 143 is not good, and probably would lead you to lower prices. All right, let's go back to LTC real quick. Sorry. Okay, getting over 66. Would that classify? Let me look at this. I kind of see what you're possibly talking about here. Okay. So for this to play out, and I think, tell me if I'm wrong, but are you seeing this? Is this what you're seeing? Head, okay. Neckline, neckline, shoulder over here, and then potentially shoulder over here. If you're thinking this is a bigger inverted head and shoulders, then Litecoin should in the next... Okay, then Litecoin should, more than likely, let me look at the symmetry here. It looks kind of funky. I would think that it might come back to this 50 area. Yeah, sorry, Ixler, my thing went offline there for just a minute. Oh, God, that looks it looks funky, but I do kind of like this rounded bottom. I mean, I know there's been a lot of talk about cup and handles, but you've got a rounded type bottom right here. It's a very shallow cup, and then that could have been a handle, but you would want to see that a little longer extended, right? This just kind of, or are you seeing this? Is this what you're thinking? Head here? That doesn't even, maybe. I don't know. That just doesn't, it looks weird to me. It could be. So if that's going to play out, then you would want to see price probably come back and retest maybe 55. Hold the 20-day moving average, and then go up and break the neckline. Okay, so the bigger one. You're talking bigger one. Okay. Well, if it's the bigger one, then I don't think this is it. I think then you're looking more towards 50. Like the next move down towards 50, and then you go through and then you break that neckline. So to answer your question, you would want to do something like this, okay? Let's do this. Okay, if this is what you're thinking, just take your tool out, okay? Draw a trend line. All right, let's do a horizontal ray. Oh, sorry, my bad, not a horizontal. Let's just do a regular ray, okay? And let's draw it from that top right through here. Okay, and of course, I'm going to have to change the color so you can see it. And we'll just keep an eye on this. I'll change it to yellow. There we go. At least through that part of it. So you're going to want to see, a break above, at least on a next move. Again, it's the 200-day moving average. Get above the 200-day moving average, and then you're possibly breaking a neckline. You're obviously breaking the 200, and then more than likely coming up and testing, 71 to 75. So if this is the pattern you're thinking, and I need to change, let me change this up just a little bit. It's hard the way I had that. Let me do this. Let me just change that color on the red stick. There we go. Then I'll go over and I will do this. And we'll just change that to black or darker color. There you go. There you go. Okay. So that's your neckline. But you can see if this is your shoulder over here, then your shoulder is not going to stop right there. I don't think. I think your shoulder would come down and symmetry-wise do something similar to this, and it would have to do it with decreasing volume. Okay? So I don't see, and here's the problem. If this is the head, look at your volume right here, and then it's close. I just don't know. You see volume coming in here too. I mean, let me go back to Bitcoin and I'll just show you real quick. Bitcoin was a perfect inverted head and shoulders because you had big volume here at the shoulder, you had decreasing volume going into the head, and then you had even more decreasing volume going into the other shoulder. And that's what you want to see. Max volume here, lower volume here, and then the lowest volume over here. So that's what you need to watch for. But either way, no matter how you look at it, I mean, Litecoin has to get above this red resistance zone. Period. Okay? And a good start would be getting above that possible neckline. That could push it. But time will tell. We'll see. Okay. Does that answer your question? Yeah, 50. Yeah, the 50 could hold it. That would work. You know, you could have a higher shoulder, right? Just like Bitcoin did. Yeah, somewhere in that 50 to 52 area. Yeah, exactly. You can. For sure. All right. So where were we? Let's go to. Let's go look at EOS. This one's been a nice mover. I think it's pretty much similar to Bitcoin. Inverted head and shoulders, broke above the 200 and now the 233. So now what do you want to see? Let's just retrace back and make sure that our 10 EMA holds. If it doesn't and we want to wick a little bit, let's make sure the 233-day moving average holds. Okay? It did stop right up in here pretty close. I thought it would get a little higher, and it still may, but to be honest with you, I really thought that this thing would probably power up to about 425. I still think it's eventually going there, but we'll see. We will see. Let's look at BAT. Double top. Needs to get above 24 cents. So double top right up in here, coming back, and see, this is one that it got above the 233 right there and closed above it, but then it came right back and fell back below it. So to me, BAT really needs to hold this 20-day moving average, and then even more importantly, the 20-cent range if it's a bigger retracement. Hold that area. If not, it's more than likely going to go break these lows over here and, you know, come all the way down to maybe 18 cents. So, what else can we look at? ADA. Okay, so this one caught my eye last night. I was sitting there kind of thumbing through some stuff, and we talked about this a while back, and this is just the beauty of how this all works. But when you see the 200 and the 233 way up here and price comes screaming down, it just means it's going to take a little longer for this thing to settle a base, right? I mean, yeah, you might get a pump, you know, somebody come up and do a pump and dump and it hits it, but more than likely you're just going to form a bottom. And then here was and I changed them over to green, they were red, but I had drawn, because this thing had been in such a resistance zone, you know, it was like up, down, up, down, up, down, but then kept making higher lows. And then eventually, there you go, you're past the 200, you're past the 233, you're past this old resistance zone, which now what do? Once it was old resistance, you turn it green, and now it's support. Okay? Same with this one up here, which I don't think that held. Nope. So we'll go ahead and remove that. So now on the retrace, this is going to be your bigger area to watch, 549. Okay? And that would be fine, right? Because this thing has broken resistance. It's broken above the 200 and the 233. As long as these, and it's going to take a while. It could be, you would like to see this just kind of go sideways for a while and then make your next move and allow these moving averages to go flat, the longer ones, and then the shorter EMAs just kind of, get closer and maybe get the Bollinger Bands tighten up a little bit and then make your next move higher. So, and it did break the 78, I think I took that out, the 78.6 retracement. Yeah. So from this high to this low over an extended period of time, it did break the 78.6. So we're going to take that out, and one would think that over time the next resistance, 716. I'm not saying it's going to get there tomorrow or next week, but it's an area to watch if this starts moving higher. You would also want to look at 641. This little area right over here, which I need to put down. We just do a horizontal ray. There we go. Forgot to put that in there. There we go. All right. So you got this area at 650, and then after that, 715 on ADA. So just one to watch. What else is on your minds, guys? What do you want to see? Okay, MKRUSD. Let's go take a look. I've done that one before, but I did it on the ETH pair. Okay. Let's see, did I have that in there somewhere else? Huh, okay. MKRUSD. And let's look at that up. Okay. God, I hate that wild spike stuff, man. It really messes with charts. Oh, goodness me. All right, so I guess what I would want to do is this, first off. Let's do a trend line. From there to there. And let's turn that to red, since that is resistance. All right, let me zoom in a little bit on this bad boy. See, I don't know where that wick, where the true bottom of that wick was. I really don't. That's just, I hate it when that happens. It just screws with charts. Why is it relevant? I would only direct you to a, oh gosh, there's a YouTube video out there where and you should look it up, okay? Go look, and I wish I could find it for you, but go look at like Fibonacci numbers and why they're important on YouTube. You'll see there's a fantastic video out there that showed why the sequence of numbers happens the way they do. And some of it had to do with, like, I think it was rose petals or something. And the numbers of those was a Fibonacci number. And it wasn't just that. There's other, mathematicians all over the world, they use Fibonacci. Yeah, there may have been something on TED Talk, but this I saw was a YouTube video. But spirals of the galaxy, yeah, that too. But why it's important is if you was to go back and just use the Fibonacci tool and just go back and look at some charts, right? And just throw a fib number on there and just do some backdating and go take a look and see why something bounced where it did. And I've done this numerous times on live stream, and I think the guys can verify for me. I've taken a blank chart that somebody asked me to look at, and without ever seeing this, and they've probably seen me punch it in on my channel or on my trading view, and just take a blank one, and I can sit there and tell you just by eyeballing it where there had to be a fib number where it bottomed out or where it topped at. It's just absolutely amazing. I can't explain it. I'm not smart enough to explain it, but I know it works. It is weird. It really is. I mean, it's just something in the... I wish I could tell you. It's just hard to tell. It really is. It's just the most odd phenomenon, but it works. And if you was to go on my YouTube website, you'll see under the training links, I've got one about fib clusters. And that's where if you draw one Fibonacci retracement from one area to the next, and then you go and draw it from one other area to the next, you may get a 38.2 and a 61.8 that line up almost exactly on top of each other. And that just helps like you're thinking of where a more important support area is or a more important resistance area is. Okay, so here's MKR, and I'll do an example. You can see I don't have any fib lines on this chart whatsoever. I haven't done it. The only thing that bothers me over here is this. And I can only go from here to here, right? I just hate this long wick that was like a bad print or who knows what the heck happened. So I'm going to have to just start from, golly, this is just, I hate those dang things. All right, so let's just take it from the top over here, okay? And then let's take it down to the bottom. Okay, I'm going to click on that, and we're going to find out right here if something happened that caused it to retrace, and if something happened up here that caused it to retrace. So let's throw in our numbers, because I have 0 on there right now. I'm going to punch them in, and that looks like maybe a 38.2, I guess. Let's see. Amazing. Right? So there's where it stopped right there, 38.2. Okay? Let's go to this one right here, and that one looks like possibly a 50% retracement, close to. And then you got 61.8. What kicked it right here, okay, and I'll show you this. And this is where if you use Fibonacci numbers combined with your moving averages, that makes it even more powerful. So, okay, yeah, we broke the 50% retracement, which, by the way, is not it's not a fib number. 50%, 50 the number is not a fib number. That's a, like if you're looking at a certain chart pattern and one of the measurements of it is 50%, then yeah, there you go. So I really do not like a 50% retracement at all. Okay. So let's take that out and let's see, well, why did it stop? Well, simple. Here's your 233-day moving average. You can see over here to the left, there was no other, like, top of a wick, top of a close, nothing. It's the moving average, the 233-day moving average, a fib number. I mean, getting above the 200 is fine, but if you're just going off the 200-day moving average and that's it, and you're thinking, oh, this is bullish and I'm going long, well, guess what? You get smacked down at the 233, and look what happens. So on that retracement from here to here, it looks like the 61.8 is the next resistance level if you break the 233. Now let's do this, okay? And this is where I talk about fib clusters. So let's take this high, okay, and we're going to draw another retracement from here to here. Okay? Right around the 78.6, right, is kind of where it's stalling a little bit. But check this out. Fib cluster. Just from that retracement to that one, look up here. 1272, if it breaks this high, think that's where it's headed? I do. And I think that would be major resistance. Okay, so 583. You see how that works? I mean, I can go over it again, but it's nothing magical I did. It's just I've done it for years. But I went from this high to this low, and I get a 61.8 that's sitting right there. I go over to the next swing high, and once you see that it's starting to make a, dropping down, do another retracement. When you see a bottom like this and it's starting to move up, do another retracement here to here. That gives you the 1272 and the 61.8 right on top of each other. Which, oh, by the way, happens to be some resistance back over in here. Right? So it doesn't have to hit it right on the number. You know what I'm saying? It could, but it's in that area, right? I mean, we're talking, what? This is a $500 coin or stock. I mean, we're talking within, what, $4? 4 points? I can live with that. So hopefully that helps. Like I say, I would, and I've got a video on Fibonacci retracements, moving averages, fib clusters, gaps. I've got a lot of stuff on there that can help you. But when you see that and it turns dark, right, just like that, you know something lined up on each other, and then you go look. Those are two very important Fibonacci retracements right there. Very important. So that is going to be a key area. You mark my words. If this goes higher, right, that is going to be a key area to get through. So if me and you're playing it, I would plan on possibly selling some here, because that's going to be, I mean, we're at 506 right now. If this was to get up there, that's a, what, more than 50% move. That's pretty good money. Let's see, weekly chart on this one, Friesen, MKR. Okay, yeah, let's take a look at it. And let's go. All right. Wow. Okay, hang on one second. Give me 1 minute. All right, sorry about that. Let's see here. So let's go back to this. Okay, well, I guess for giggles and grins, let's do this. Okay, I hate these wicks like this, but let's say that was the top, and let's just it didn't really get down to 42, did it? Did it really get down to 42? I don't think so. That doesn't seem right to me. That just looks like a bad print. Maybe I should look at another exchange. Anyway, let's just assume that over here was the real bottom of this thing. Just assuming. God, it makes it tough. Let's go and throw in some numbers and see if maybe something up here was going on. The 50, maybe, but what else do I want to throw in? Let's go. Well, that's rather interesting. No, I can't use that because it broke through that. Yeah, I'll tell you what. To be honest with you, bro, it makes it difficult when I see something like this. That low could have been down here. I'm just going to remove that. Well, let's take a look at it. Other than some fib areas, but look at your moving averages, right? You got your 10 down here. You got your 20 there and your 50 here. There's not enough data on here for a 200-day moving average or a 233. Is there enough for a 100-day moving average? Don't know if I had the 100 in there or not. Yeah, we'll leave it out. I would assume if there was, it's probably up in here somewhere. The key for MKR is this. And here's something to pay attention to. Notice where your stochastic RSI was back here. It was bottomed out. Price was here, right? Right there. And I guess you could always do something like this. Do you a horizontal ray, just like that. Okay, let's change it to green because that's support. Okay, so there's a support area. There's also your lower Bollinger Band right below it. Okay, if this thing can break and get up above that 50 EMA, which is a powerful moving average, right? And you can see where it's kind of stumbling right in here. If it can get above that and get back over, golly, maybe that 583 area, it could run. But to me, I think your analysis is probably right. It just seems like there's, look at the patterns here. Does this almost look like, you got a low, low, higher low, high, low, and then it breaks down, low, high, and double bottom, perhaps. I mean, one could even say, possibly, a possible W bottom, right? That takes price like that. But you've got to get past resistance first. So the Bollinger Bands are just kind of like in a range right here. So you've got resistance here, resistance there, and support right here. I mean, you could just probably swing trade the crap out of this thing and just get yourself some free shares, and then if it does break out, you're good, and if not, you're still good because you made money on it and you kept some. That would be at least my recommendation. I just don't know that I would hodl this like all the time. But then again, that's me. I mean, you do what you probably know about this company or what they do, but I'm just going off what I do. Okay, so that's MKR. Any other ones to look at? I feel like I'm probably missing. Oh, you're welcome. I feel like there's something out there that I'm missing, and I'm just not thinking of it right now. If there's something you guys are seeing that I'm not, then let me know, because I just want to look at. There's got to be something out there. We've looked at ADA. Dero. Yeah, I want to see it on TradingView. That's where all my tools are. Oh, you know what? Algo Staking Live. Well, let's go look at Algo. There's your BTC pair. I've done this one in the past. Been a while though. We'll have to change these EMAs. That one is still in play. I broke that 78.6. I mean, it's in the area, but let's see if something is happening. How do I want to do this? Let's do a retracement from there to here. And let's do, get the 61.8 out, 78.6. Support down at 24.25 if it wants to get there. If not, then you're looking at that little area right there, trying to hold a double bottom. But until it breaks these EMAs, I mean, it's kind of like in no man's land. We're starting to get maybe oversold on the stochastic RSI. So as long as that area holds and this indicator bottoms out, then you could get a turn and a move. So it could be a tradable play. Just know your risk is down to 24.28 if it breaks this double bottom, and possibly even down to 22.63. So we shall see on that one. What else is out there, guys? There's got to be something. I feel like there's something I'm missing, like I haven't looked at, or what about Theta? I think me and Joe were talking about that one night. Yeah, that doesn't look so good now, does it? Let's take these fibs out. I think that one's a longer term one, if I'm not mistaken. Ugh. See, this is what I don't like right here. It needs back above this area like pretty quick. Back above the 200, 10, 20, and then let the 233 get below the 200 and start moving in unison. Yeah, I don't know that I like that one just yet. KNC double top. Let's take a look. Do I have that one? KNC. I've done this one before. Let's see. Let's take out that 236. Might as well just restart this whole thing. There we go. I'm kind of liking how the 200's coming through the 233, hooking up. It's going through a little retrace right now. Let's take a look and see where some support might be. All right, so let's do that. And let's throw on the fibs. Let's get that out of the way. Let's go. That looks like a 38.2 maybe. Nope, past that. Not really a big fan of the 50, so there's the more important area right there. Let's get that 50 out of the way because it did break that over there. So your next support, 50-day moving average, 50 EMA, 2801. 2801 is where I would, and possibly even this little wick right over in here. Again, Fibonacci, it doesn't have to be to the exact number. Okay, let me repeat that. Does not have to be the exact number. It's somewhere in the ballpark. And I mean like very small ballpark, right? It's not one of those that can break halfway between the 78.6 and the 61.8. It's got to be, because to me, if it breaks below that by a decent margin, then it's going to the next one. Unless you see like a moving average that's going to be right there with it, right? But when I'm looking at charts and I'm looking at something like this, then I'm going, okay, well then let's look at a couple of things, really. It's not just moving averages and Fibonacci. Of course, it's already played out, but you've got a bearish engulfing candle up here at the top. 1, 2, 3. That's 3 black crows. That's a reversal. Okay? So your next area that you want to look at is 2803. At the minimum, if you're wanting to ladder in, probably 2870, 2880. But if it was me, I would wait until right around this 2800 area, just to be on the safe side, right? Just to be on the safe side, knowing your risk, if it breaks that, is all the way down here, 2600. So hopefully that helps. Let's look at, what about XLM? Let's go over to, I think I had XLM here somewhere. Oh, you know what? Actually, let's go look at BHD real quick. Somebody was asking about this one the other night, and of course we had the 38.2 right up here. Price was outside Bollinger Bands, and I think I told him at the time, I said, wait until price gets back inside the Bollinger Bands, and then you could possibly start thinking about another move. Okay? So let's do this on BHD, if that person is still out here watching. Let's take a look at, and let's just go from, looks like those are about the same. So let's go there to here. And let's see if we get any kind of fib clusters going on. Let's put a 23.6, close enough, 38.2. All right, so there's one. Now I'm going to take it from this swing low to this swing high. And guys, I didn't just make that up, right? You see that? Does anybody see what just happened right there? Please tell me you did. See this darker line right here? That's your 38.2 and that's your 23.6, right? So I'll get that out of there. That's a 23.6. Fib cluster, and then below that, another fib cluster. And your fib cluster is lining up pretty close to the 10 EMA. So now you've got your stochastic RSI. And not only that, but I think when I did this too, I put down that this was a bearish divergence because look where your indicator is and look where price is. Okay? Even at the top, it was at 586. This thing started going down, dipped a little bit, which is fine. But when it made its big move up, it made a lower indicator. That is a bearish divergence. Price is reacting. So, if it was me, okay, this has either got to turn tomorrow, and the only way it will is if price reacts and goes higher. But I would just be very cautious and be thinking, okay, this area is support. My next support is down at 628. Okay? Below that, 571. So the turn of this may just be starting, right? And I don't know what caused this whole up move to start with, but I mean, that's a hell of a percent gain, right? I mean, look at that. This thing could pull all the way back into here over the next couple of weeks, back to 628, possibly even 570. Moral of the story is if you're buying back in here, or if you bought the dip, then why are you hanging around? Follow the trading plan. Hey, Abram, how you doing? Good to see you. Thanks for coming in. Friesen, I have not talked to Joe in the past few days, but I will set something up with him and see if maybe we can't do something in the next couple of days or so. All right, I'll go fiat. Okay, let's go take a look. Okay, well, ever since October-ish, it's just been chopping around. It's been holding this bottom, right? Looks a little similar to ADA, don't you think? Right, just chopping. Let me see what I was doing with these moving averages here. That one is actually still in play. Let's go. Yep. Yeah, these Fibonacci's are still in play. So this is your area, right? And that actually, you could just do, I put that there, but you could do something like this, right? That's a more important type zone, so to speak. Let's change that to green. Okay, so that's your zone, right? Hold above it, things are good. I would want to see, I think, and again, look right here, price got above Bollinger Bands, couldn't hold it, pulled back in, and then instead of just holding the 10 EMA and then going higher, it's just back into consolidation mode. I mean, this thing is just consolidating. For what? I have no clue. But that is just consolidation. Right? You're going to probably get a pump or a brief news thing that might make it go higher, but it just looks like, that was a pump right there and then back down. But somebody is holding it up right in here. Somebody's buying when price gets down here. 20 cents. I mean, if it loses this area, it's dropping like a rock to 14. Okay? In my opinion. Okay, so that's algo. What else do we got out there? Let me go back here. Did I skip anything? ZRX maybe? Oh wait, Link. Okay, here we go. Link. And I think these EMAs are still holding. Yep. So the 78.6 right here, big area. Okay? Break above that, and you're coming up and retesting the highs, and more than likely hitting, well, you're getting over 3, right? So make a new high past 285, and you're going to the 3 to 326, 330 area. Somewhere up in here. And if I was to do, let's see, I don't think I did this yet, did I? No, I didn't. All right, real quick, and I'll get to ZIL here in just a minute. Let's do a retrace from this high to this low, and let's see if we got any clusters going on. So it's obviously past all these. And then 1272, and let's see where the 1618 is. Okay, so nothing really lines up there. And it doesn't have to all the time, but I just do it just so if I can see more important resistance. So nothing really lines up there. So just keep in mind these numbers, right? It's amazing how the 1618 lines up with this high over here. I think that's actually kind of interesting. So let's go ahead and throw that on there. And let's change it over to red, because that'll be a resistance area. Okay. So 1272, the 1618, and then the 50. You know how I feel about that, but I just throw it on there. And eventually 334 if it gets there. But right now, I mean, the moving averages all look good. 10 EMAs holding. 20 EMA right there, just pushing price higher. So we'll see what happens. Let's take a look at ZIL. And let's go to, is that the BTC pair or, oh, I haven't gone ZRX. Let me do that one real quick, Friesen. You were first. Hang on. ZRX. Yeah, just kind of look at this. I mean, you had a double bottom, you had a big move to the upside, and then this whole thing right here just looks corrective mess to me, right? I really would have loved to have it seen it hold the 200-day moving average. It did break below just a little bit, but all these moving averages are just bunching up. Look at this. We're getting a bunch of them all lined up on top of each other. Not to mention that your Bollinger Bands are starting to pinch in a little bit. So let's give ZRX like a few days here. And then I think she'll be primed to do something. Right? And with a corrective move like this, my guess would be that she breaks to the upside. That's my guess. But it's got to get past 26 cents, right? Right there. That fib cluster right there. It's got to get past that. So we'll continue to watch that one. I'll be obviously covering that one in the coming days. All right, so now we're going to go look at ZIL. ZIL on the BTC pair or fiat? I'll do the fiat because I think you're trading a lot of fiat stuff. So let's go look at. Okay. Yeah, I mean, look at the 200 and the 233, right? They're both coming down here, pushing price lower, but price has stabilized. So ZIL could be one. If alts really get going, this could be one to watch. Could see a move up to the 200-day moving average and maybe test the 233. And then we've seen a few examples of some alts that just don't like it and pull back off of it. But this could be one that maybe goes up and tests it and then eventually goes a little bit higher onto the next EMA. Or simple moving average, my bad. Let's take a look at some fib numbers. Oh my gosh, this thing has really cratered, hadn't it? Wow, 20 cents down to below a penny. Unreal. I don't even know if I've got any fibs that will hit certain area. I mean, I guess I could do something like this. From here down to that low. And then let's throw a 23.6 on there. That's what I was afraid of. Let's just keep it simple. Not that it's, unless you get like a huge spike out of nowhere. But if it can get past the 200 or 233, then it could get back close to a penny. Okay, could get close to a penny. So we'll see. It's trying to make a bottom here, but again, this thing could just go sideways for quite a while. Let's go look at ADA on the USD pair. And again, I covered this one in the past. Let's see if anything, yeah. So she broke through the 23.6. Take that out. Clean it up. And now your next resistance is 6 cents. And it's above the 200. It's above the 233. Next resistance up here, which would coincide with, let's do this. Let me zoom in a little bit. See all this junk over here? All this that looked like it was trying to act as support, trying to bounce and couldn't. So let's just, let's do it this way. And I'm going to have to change the color on that, but let's just do it this way. And we'll make that resistance. Okay. So there you go. And there's your ADA. Might as well get that out of there since that didn't hold. Clean it up a little bit. So it didn't hold that one support, but it did hold and make a lower low from this low. And I could do, let's do this. I guess I could do this as well. Let's, God, that would be really extending it. Let's go. Nah, that ain't gonna work. Okay, that's just too much. So we're sticking with the longer fib retracement, right? So right up here. And not going back to ADA real quick. I think I was talking about this one earlier. If this was the one on the BTC where it had the long wick out the top and it didn't have the red body. Well, a lot of times those bears can't get it to close red, and it's almost like, well, crap, we didn't get a red day, and then here come your buyers back, the bulls. That's a nice retracement for them if they're very bullish, and then you get that move coming up off of it. So good area to enter on ZRX. Yeah, let me look. Let's pull it back up. ZRX. Well, if you want my honest opinion, I mean, you could buy it right here in this area. Okay. See how you got your EMAs? You got the 50 and the 20 right in here. As long as that 50 EMA holds, right? And you don't get the 10 crossing the 20, the 10 in blue, right? You don't want it crossing below the 20, and then you get everything going down, right? You did have a, bearish engulfing right here, this pattern. Watch this candle right here, the next one. Is it going to hold the 50, or is the bearish engulfing going to play out and drag it lower? I mean, your prime area to buy, to me, would probably be on a hold of this. Right? I wouldn't want to see that big green stick taken out. Okay, so somewhere maybe just in that 61.8 retracement area and the lower Bollinger Band. Although the lower Bollinger Band is going to move higher on tomorrow's close. So whether you're wanting to ladder in or not, somewhere in that area, but I would think that's probably a decent area to get in. Right? Because I just think after that type of move up, I just don't see it crashing all the way down. I just like that. You know what I'm saying? Anything's possible, but I don't see it crashing all the way down. I mean, I could see it correcting like this down to the, down this area, or even down to the 61.8 and then going higher. But I would say for now, just, it's if it holds the 50 though, that's the key. If it holds that 50 EMA and you get any kind of movement off that and you get back above the 10 EMA, then you're going back and you're retesting the 25 cent area. And probably in pretty short order, I would imagine. So that's what I got on ZRX. Let's see. What else do we got? XLM. I haven't looked at that one. Oh, uh-oh. Okay, the candle's not closed and obviously could change, but this pattern right here, yeah, we had a reversal pattern there, couldn't make a higher high, couldn't get above the 200, and now we're trying to get another reversal pattern. That's rather peculiar. So I would be on the cautious side of this one. Let's go look at some fib retracements. Yeah, let's do this. Let's go from this swing low to up here. And let's take out, man, why is it doing that? Okay, 38.2. All right, and then let's do this. Let's draw another one. See if we got a fib cluster somewhere. Wow. I'll tell you, sometimes fibs just amaze me. They absolutely amaze me. We got a fib cluster on XLM. And I'm going to try to go real slow, but look down here where this red line is. This was an area of, importance, right? And we're going to change that back over to green because it was resistance for a long time, right? Resistance. And then it broke it, or it was support and then broke it and then became resistance, broke back above it, and now it's support again. Well, it's lining up on a cluster of the 1272 and the 61.8 if it gets there. Here's the other thing I'm going to do, okay? Let's just say for a moment, okay, and here's the other thing. Get your fib tool and go to trend-based fib extension. Click on it. Take it from this high to this low, okay? This is a measured move. That's one move right there, okay? Go up to here. Isn't that amazing, guys? If this move equals, if this next move down equals this move down, where do you think it's going? Maybe in this area somewhere? Close to? Right? So to me, XLM could be on its way down to what? 0.051 if you're playing, right? The only thing that's going to turn the tide and make this whole thing go away is it breaking this high right up here. And that's a little over 6 cents, 0.063. So I just did measured move, old resistance, new support, and a fib cluster all lined up right in this area. That'll be a key area to watch if it starts breaking down, okay? If it starts breaking down, that's going to be an area to watch. I'm not saying it will, but I'm just saying that's an area to watch if it does. And a potential area to buy. So, anyway, we'll watch that. Okay, any other questions? Any other chart requests? I've got about, I'm going to give it about 10 minutes, guys. 10-minute call. 10-minute warning. Yeah, EOS. Let me pull it back up here. And I think, did I do the... Okay, I haven't done... Yep, I need to get that out of there. Okay, since it's broke that. Okay, so let's do this. EOS looks like it's maybe a short-term top. We'll see. Bearish engulfing stick right there. Looks like bearish engulfing. But it is holding the 10 EMA. Okay, so now let's go over and it got rejected close to the 1272. I really thought that it would have got there just based on this fib retracement, and it still may. But let's see where the potential downsides may be to this. If it wants to turn south, that is. So let's go this low to this high. And let's throw in... Oh, let's throw in our 38.2 and 236. And then let's also do, see if we have any clusters from there to here. Okay, so we do have one fib cluster, and it has broken the 23.6, so let's get that out of there. Okay, so right now, at least on fib retracement, like from this low up to this high, and it's starting to pull back, the 38.2 is holding at 383. If EOS continues to break down, then the next area you're going to look for is coincidentally right over in here at 365, which if we was to do something like this, this area was resistance for a while, right? It broke down and then it tried to get above, and then it finally broke through. So let's do this. Let's just call it.
Okay, I found this on the web for what is resistance.
Nah, damn phone. Let's do this area right here. Yeah, let's call it that. And we'll change it to green. Okay, so in this area, and I guess I should have dragged that down just a little bit more because that's where that fib cluster is. There we go. Okay, so this will be your zone to watch on the way down if it gets there, right? Which would also mean a retest of the 233-day moving average. So this area will be important if this starts to come down. Okay, but it's got to get past the 10 EMA first, right there. So as long as your 10 EMA is holding, then why fight it, right? Candlestick patterns are nice and everything, but they can be broken. It's not 100% all the time. So, this just needs to be watched, right? Real close. I mean, if you wanted to get in here, you can. Just know that your risk is down to this next support area. And if it was to break that, I would probably have a stop loss somewhere, in that ballpark. Just depends on your risk, right? But right now, it still looks good. Still looks pretty decent. Can it break to 570? Okay. Let's go back and look. I guess anything's possible. I think to me, when you look at, and let's just do this. Let's go over here and let's just do a horizontal ray, right? And we'll change that to red. Okay, so you get past all this as resistance, and it comes up, you got more resistance right there. Let me see if I've actually done a longer term on this one. Actually, I think I have. I did it right back in here, I thought. Sorry for the lines, guys. That's just my Fibonacci stuff. Let's go ahead and do another one. Let's go from that top down to this bottom. And let's go to settings. And let's see where some stuff lines up. So 38.2. Okay, so 38.2 lines up. I'm going to get that 50 out of there. So your 38.2 retracements right here. If it breaks this support zone or this resistance zone right here, then you're probably looking at $6. And I'm talking about this area right here. It's got to get past 480. 480. And then I think it can make like a, pretty sharp move up to 6, which would be a good move. Ixler, am I long-term bullish on Bitcoin? Yes, I actually am. I am long-term bullish. Crypto, yeah, thank you. On EOS, we talked about that. Yeah, long-term bullish on Bitcoin. Let's just go take a look at it. I mean, look at this long wedge pattern right here. All right? I mean, we could see Bitcoin, if it breaks out of this, and this is going to be the key. And actually, you know what I did not do, guys? And my apologies. Let me do this. I did not go over the futures chart. And this was one thing I was wanting to talk about tonight. And I'll do it real quick before I head off. Change my pointer focus, and there we go, so you can see it. Okay, so let's go back and look in time here a little bit. And let me get this where you can see it. Okay, so on our squeeze indicator, right, you can see that all during the downtrend, it had tried, and I could move this over, right? Each time this thing wanted to bounce in a bear market, you get the light blue histogram, right? Followed by the darker, and then it can't follow through. You never get 2 consecutive blue histograms, right? Everything was red, small blue, and then everything goes red, 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 drops, 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 and then lo and behold, we get this move that turns us bullish, and then once it turns red right here, everybody's thinking, okay, well, it's just that's a bounce and it's going to drop lower. Well, it didn't. Here comes another area of bullishness that continues the trend. Okay, well, then that's the top. No, that was just a dip followed by another bullish histogram. There's your top. This, now it turns bearish, right? You get a light blue histogram here, okay? It didn't go back to back. You had this bearish area, and bulls tried to recover, couldn't. Bears take over, goes flat. Bears take over. Bulls try to come back. Bears take over, and here we are. Light blue histogram. And we've had this little area, light blue, darker blue, coming back to light blue. This is probably going to go flat at some point, okay? And then we're going to see what the next histogram does. If I get a signal, right? If I get a light blue signal with the green dot on the bottom, then I'm going majorly long. And this thing will bust out of this and start moving a lot higher. But for now, this is a nice area to start, right? This is the longest, that area right there with all the light blue histogram, that is the most we've had since I think the futures came out. It's longer than this. It was longer than that. When this thing started to come out and make this move, that light blue histogram was, the bars were longer on this one than I've seen since I've been watching Bitcoin. What does that mean? We'll see. It seems pretty bullish to me. So, price predictions for Bitcoin. Oh gosh, I hate doing that. I really do, because somebody will always say, "Oh, well, he said it's going to get to 20,000 and it didn't." Golly. I. That's a tough one. I mean, in my eyes, I guess in my eyeball. Oh gosh, this. I mean, who knows what's going to happen with the halvening, right? 50,000, 10,000, just for fun. Okay, just for fun. I think Bitcoin sometime during this year will probably end up around 16,000. Let's put it that way. How about that? I think it'll hit 16,000 at some point this year. What happens after that, I have no clue. I mean, I could give you like a if this happens, if that happens, but until those areas actually break, and I mean, let's just be real. I mean, Bitcoin is Bitcoin. It can, you never know. News could come out. There's just any number of factors, right? Yeah, I would take 60K. That would be awesome. I would be a happy camper. I really would. But right now, let's just keep it simple. And I keep trying to tell everybody, just do the trading plan, right? That I've got outlined. It's not that hard. And you could sit there and just trade Bitcoin. It's not sexy. I know it's not the sexiest trading plan in the world, but it works. And the bottom line is you're trying to compound your money. Lord knows there's been plenty of time throughout this whole period right in here, right? We're going on, October, November, December, January. 4 months, and Bitcoin's been in a range. You could have traded this 5 times over, and just been disciplined. Try to catch it somewhere in the bottom, not panic, and sell it. You're wanting the meat of the move. You're not trying to catch the exact top, right? You want the middle of the move. And that goes for whether you're long or you're short. Okay? Those people that catch an exact top or an exact bottom and, they claim they trade that and whatnot, those guys that do that over and over again, I'm calling BS on them. I will just call bullcrap. It doesn't happen. So if you go into my Discord channel, you'll see a link in there. It's under the learning channel, and it's called Crypto Fib Trading Plan. And that will explain everything. Are you in my Discord channel, Ixler? So you're in my trading channel or my Discord channel? If you are, then yeah, just go look at that link and you'll see it. Again, it's not sexy. It's not going to make you $1 million overnight. Okay, so you're not in my Discord channel. Let me give you the link, okay? Hang on one second. There you go. There's the link to my Discord channel, okay? And I will make sure to put... There we go. Okay. So make sure to join it within 24 hours or it'll change. I mean, I know there's a way I can do it where it'll never change, but anyway. Ed, it works no matter whether you're day trading or swing trading. It really does. Right? Yeah. works both ways. Okay, guys. Any other questions? I'm getting ready to head out. Gonna call it a night. I mean, I may be back around here in a little bit. I got to get some dinner. I'm hungry. So, all right, guys. Well, I appreciate you coming in. If you would just hit the. Obviously, I'm sure you guys are already subscribed. But right down over here in the bottom right, hit the subscribe button. There's also a bell that you can hit for notifications. So hit that little bell anytime I send out a video, it'll alert you. Obina, the 1000 trading account. Yeah, I'll go into that a little bit later in the channel. It's something I'm thinking about doing as far as just like I don't know how I want to put it. Just creating a separate channel, or not separate channel, separate account. Just open a side account somewhere and just see if we can't turn that 1K into 2K and, in a certain amount of time or not, or how long it might take, But, yeah, that's something I'm thinking about and working on. So we'll see what happens. Okay, guys, appreciate everything, and we'll talk to you soon. Thanks.